A British court last week ruled the WikiLeaks founder can be extradited to face espionage charges in America. The judge decided to hand over Assange after the White House promised he'd be treated fairly and given appropriate mental health care. So if Assange is in fact charged, is that the death of a free press? Here to discuss, CATO Institute's Technology and Privacy Senior Fellow, Julian Sanchez, who also shares the first name of the person we're talking about. That's a big deal. Julian, thanks for coming back on the show. I appreciate it. This should be very, very concerning for Americans and constitutionalists who love free speech and a free press in this country. How big of a hit does that take with this extradition?
I think it's pretty significant. I mean, this is, it was significant when they filed the indictments under the Espionage Act. For really most of the 20th century, the Espionage Act was not seen as an appropriate tool to go after leakers. And after 9/11, we started seeing the espionage being used to go after people who shared classified information with the press, but not to go after the people who actually published that information. And so this is sort of taking the next step of saying it's not just the leaker, but the publisher of information who will be liable under the Espionage Act. And the way that case is being argued is to say that Assange is effectively a kind of co-conspirator, not a mere passive recipient, but someone who is actively conspiring with Chelsea managed to extract classified information. But the things that they allege as evidence of this sort of co-conspiracy are the sort of things journalists, including journalists at Fox, do all the time. It's things like, taking steps to protect the identity of your source, setting up anonymous drop boxes for files, setting up channels of secure encrypted communication.
Yes,
if
like
those
Signal
are things
and
that
WhatsApp and
exactly
other forms of communication. So you have to have sources. If you're going to report on things, especially bad things that are happening in the world, you have to have sources. So what does this do for the First Amendment and journalists and their sources? Yeah,
I mean, I think if this succeeds, it really risks setting a precedent that makes what is now in the 21st century pretty standard, responsible journalistic practice of source protection, right? Evidence of conspiracy to violate the Espionage Act. If you're dealing with sources who are providing classified information, and every newspaper with a decent national security reporter is going to occasionally need to obtain technically classified information to do their job.
So people who are on the government side here, and I don't have a lot of friends in that camp, but they're saying, Assange isn't even a journalist. So you can't say that he has First Amendment protections. But, you pointed out, do we really want the government deciding the journalistic designation?
Right. Look, if you and I want to have a kind of private discussion about whether we should consider Julian Assange a journalist or not, that's a conversation we can have. But the First Amendment doesn't limit itself to, real journalists, whatever that means, and by whoever's definition. And it certainly doesn't limit itself to protecting the rights of people the government agrees are real journalists. I think depending on the administration, you'll find people who will say, well, Fox News, that's not real journalism, and people who say, well, the New York Times isn't real journalism. The First Amendment doesn't care about that precisely because it's so easy to say that.
Yes, but the federal government has targeted real journalists, one who used to work at Fox News, one who works at the New York Times, because of their refusal to give up their sources. It's incredibly dangerous. We should be standing up for Assange's rights. So what will his journey be like in terms of being indicted and tried here? How long will that process take?
It could drag on for years. But first, we have to see whether he succeeds in an appeal against the ruling of he can be extradited. But assuming he is extradited, a case like that could easily drag on for some years. I think it may be complicated in terms of sort of the public reaction because his connection with the publication of Democratic emails in 2016 has, sort of taken the shine off him in the eyes of a lot of folks on the left. He was seen as,
a real gadfly, a real rabble-rouser, one who still is deserving of constitutional protection. Julian, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.